Hey traders, so a billionaire investor has recently said that the stock market is going to crash. I want to talk to you more about where I actually got that from, what it is all about, and also how to approach it. So let's get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty traders, so let's get straight into it. So I've just finished coming off a UPW, Unleash the Power Within with Tony Robbins. If you did go, you've watched this video and you did go, please hit me up in the chat box, please email me at howtrader@gmail.com. Just email me. I would love to connect with you and stay in connect and continue to build that peer group of people like-minded. So if you did go to the UPW in Sydney this last weekend, just finished yesterday, please email me at my last name, howtrader, TRADER, @gmail.com. I would love to connect with more people and continue to build that awesome peer group of people that went to it of like-minded. Anyway, so the whole thing, guys, is that as I was going through the event, I was inquiring about the platinum membership. Right now, the platinum membership is it's a six-figure membership basically, and you get to go around and obviously Tony Robbins has access to billionaire investors, right? Billionaire investors of the top dogs of out there, from investors to traders and so on and so forth, right? And so that's what Tony Robbins does. So recently, I'm not going to say who actually said this, but recently I was actually talking to one of the guys there, and I was talking to him for about 10-20 minutes, and he said, yeah, recently this billionaire investor who is being coached by Tony Robbins for the last 10 years, is one of the top 10 financial traders of the planet. I'm not going to mention his name. He said this guy actually said to Tony, right now the stock market is going to crash. He said the stock market's way overvalued, the market's going to crash, and he said this billionaire investor is now heavily shorting the markets. Right? Again, I'm not going to mention who the name was, but I want to give you the context of that. Okay? So he said this billionaire investor is heavily short in the markets right now. And so this particular guy is all out of the markets right now when it comes to that. So is this billionaire investor right? All right, and this is the way that I want you to think about this. Even if this billionaire investor came onto and is a very well-known investor, right? So I say trader, very well-known investor and trader. So, but even if this billionaire investor is right, this is the way that I want you to think about this. And the reason why I'm bringing this up in the context of it is that sometimes we can watch YouTube videos and we can see billionaire investors and we can see what they're doing, right? They see what they're saying, and then we want to go jump on their coattails, right? So again, recently, this billionaire investor said that he's heavily short in the markets. Now, I don't know that if that's true or not, right? I'm just hearing it from a third party. Now, this third party is in part of the platinum program. Right, he is part of the platinum program, and so he's got access to Tony Robbins as well too, and all that sort of stuff. So he's got access to all that sort of stuff. Okay, so is he right? Now, the thing is that he may be right. You also may be wrong as well too, right? Remember, even billionaire investors get it wrong. Okay, so that's what you want to think. Look, they don't always get it right. So if he is right, then we'll start to see things happening on the charts. Now, what will start to happen in any downward market? We'll get what? We'll actually start to get a bit of a downtrend, right? We'll actually start to see lower highs and lower lows. So in an upward trend, what do we have? We have this sort of here, right? In a downward trend, which is simply a crash, is what? A downward trend. If the market crashes, it doesn't just do that. Now, that happens in a black swan event like COVID. It's not going to happen again, right? So if the market does start to go down, guess what we're going to start to do? We're going to start to go down, we're going to make lower highs, we're going to break down, and we're going to start to do something like this, right? This here is called a crash. 2008 stock market crash was 2008, right? 365 days. So if you get that there, the purpose of me bringing this up here is because sometimes we can get so sucked into he said, she said, right? And then we go down that path, right? But if I used exactly what I said there, if this billionaire investor right, I would want to see a bit more confirmation from the chart, the market, to maybe match what he's saying there. And what would that be? I would need something like this. I need to say, okay, the market's now in a downward trend and we're now trending down, right? So if we look at the Dow Jones here as an example, we can see the Dow Jones has had an incredible move to the upside, right? We've also had a really good sort of support and resistance line through here, right? And then now we're developing this sort of movement to the sideways movement, right? So if this billionaire investor is right, if he is right in the markets, okay, if this is going to be a lower high, then we could possibly start to see some downside. But what do we need to see first? We need to see something like this, right? We need to see a continuation of this and a breaking of this low here. See that low right there? We need a breaking of that. Why? Because it's a lower high breaking of lows. If we start to get this pattern here, guys, this week, then that's screaming at us that something big is about to happen on the downside. Screaming at us, right? And it's the market telling us. Whether you're long and so on and so forth. Again, guys, I have a video on my trailer video right now says the stock market's going to make an all-time new high by the end of the year. My ego says, oh, John, you want to be right, that video, right? So I could find any reason why to have my ego and my thesis be right with what I just said there, right? Because my trailer video is what? My trailer video is saying that we're going to make new highs. But if I look at not what this billionaire investor says, right? Even if this billionaire investor was that, right? Again, I'm not going to mention who his name is, but you guys probably know who he is. Even if he does do that, right? What is going to happen, right? Is what's going to happen is that we're going to start to see something like this happening, right? So this is what we need to be really, really, really careful of and really watching for, is start to see something like this here, right? Something like this here on the downside, And if we start to get a breaking of this low here, guys, it's not just a lower high. We've got a bit of a head and shoulder formation here. We've got a bit of a bear flag formation here. We've got two levels of support, right? There is actually, what's here? One pattern, which is the head and shoulder. Two pattern, which is the bear flag. Three pattern would be a double level of support. We break this level and we start to get to 34,000, guys. The market's screaming at us right now. And I wanted to do this video around the two contexts of one thing. One, just because you hear a billionaire investor doing something in the market doesn't mean you just go out there and simply do it, right? We need to wait. If he's right, let the market at least say, okay, now we're incongruent with what this billionaire investor is saying, right? So even if I didn't hear what this billionaire investor was saying, the market is we always need to focus on what the market's doing, right? And what is the market doing right now? We're still in an upward trend. So this could easily hold and continue rallying up. We're still making strong high lows. But if we start to get this breaking of this low here, like I mentioned before, and we start to get a breaking down, then we could really start to see some really, really big damage. And we need to be cautious of that, right? And we need to not let our egos get involved. As I said before, my trailer video right now says stock market to make an all-time new high by the end of this year. That's my ego that I did a video many months ago. And I want to be right. I want that trailer video to be right on the stock market. And I want it to be right. So therefore, my ego would be looking for any reason to say the stock market's going to go up and not go down. But that's not what rule trading is looking. Trading is all about. The rule trading is all about looking at the truth of what's happening right now, the truth about what's happening right now, and then making a decision to move forward in a big way that way, and not what your opinion or your thinking or your ego or your fears. What's the market telling us? And now when we start to get three major patterns that if this starts to form, which is the head and shoulder, the bear flag, and also the double support levels through here, if we start to get a breakdown, the market is screaming at us that we can start to see more of a downside movement from there. So I hope this helps you out today, traders. Traders, if you do need some more help, then that very first link in the description there, guys, click on that. You can go get a free trading course from there. I'm giving away a free trading course. If you do want some more personalized help, I'm giving away a free one-on-one trading plan creation course. It's a personal course for free. So if you want that, that's second link in the description there. You can actually go book a call with me, and I'll personally give you a call to give you what's called a 1 hour trading plan creation call to help you through your journey when it comes to trading. See you, traders.